Hey, how's it going? My name is John, and tonight I have a Nintendo NES GRAIL going up for auction with Heritage Auctions. And before we get into that, I want to give a little bit of a backstory as to how I got this game and why I decided to auction it through Heritage. So about 7 or 8 years ago, I was at an estate sale in an apartment complex, and most of the stuff was priced really cheap. It was done by the family, so it was more like yard sale prices. And it's typical estate sale stuff in the kitchen, stuff in the living room, nothing that was super interesting to me. At that time, I was mostly just buying video games and books. And I get to one of the back bedrooms, and it is just full of video games. Brand new Nintendo NES and Super Nintendo games just sealed in the package. There was a couple GameCubes in the box. They were open, but they were complete in the box with the styrofoam and all the packing. There's a ton of Sony and Atari stuff, but that's out of my field of expertise. I grew up with Nintendos, and so that's what I'm more comfortable knowing the value of. And the stuff was priced just like crazy cheap. I ended up buying 12 to 15 games and a few like strategy guides. And I spent $100, so each game was about $5. So I ended up selling a few of the lower value games immediately, and I got everything else graded, all the high ticket items graded through VGA. I don't even think WADA was around at the time. I think this was maybe 2015. So I ended up auctioning off a few games on eBay about 5 years ago. Secret of Evermore, Secret of Mana, and Chrono Trigger. And those all sold, I think, in the neighborhood of $5,000 to $7,000 total, which was amazing at the time. We had a lot of student loan debt that we needed to pay off, and that was incredibly helpful. I held on to Super Mario Bros. 2 for the Nintendo NES and Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo, because both of those games were really neat to me. They both got really high grades. Both of them were valued at less than $1,000 a piece. So I figured I could just keep it in my collection and just enjoy having them on my shelf. So fast forward to now, and the video game market has absolutely exploded. And I looked at the value of these two games, and the expected value at auction is, I think, like over $10,000 for each of them. So the first game up for auction is Super Mario Bros. 2 for the Nintendo NES, and that is ending probably in about 5 minutes here. So what I'm gonna do is switch from my phone to a screen recording on my computer and let you guys watch the auction end with me. All right, so before we get into my auction, and it's coming up here in a few after these Super Mario Bros. Games. So here on Heritage, they will open the live bidding. If no bids have occurred after 5 seconds, the auction will close like it did there. And if a bid is received, it will add another 5 seconds, and you'll see that fair warning message. And then it continues like that until there haven't been any bids for 5 seconds, and then it will close the auction. And mine's coming up after this one. We got a WADA 8.5 A+ sealed, and the bidding just kind of took off on this one. I'm from 850 to 1850 really quick. Nervous about mine coming up next. All right, here we are. All right, we got 9,500. Looks like what the bid is up to. Come on, people, bid. All right, 10,000. Ooh, okay, 11 grand. All right, about to get fair warning again. All right, is anyone else coming in, or did it sell for 11? Sold for 11. Whew. All right, so it's been about 2 minutes since the auction ended, and my ears are warm, my heart's still racing, I feel very hot. I want this sweater off. But yeah, so 11,000 after the auctioneer's commission and taxes are taken out, it'll probably be about 6,000, 6,500 that we'll get from that. Yeah, $5 to buy it. I think it cost $30 or $40 to get it graded with VGA. And this was back, 7 years ago. So the market hadn't exploded, and grading was still, like a reasonable amount back then. So yeah, so that is a gigantic return on investment. I'm not going to complain about that, but I'm very pleased with what it ended at. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You're probably less stressed than I was, but there's a little taste of how auctions work on Heritage if you haven't seen that before. And just again, thank you for stopping by. If you enjoyed this at all and would like to see more of our hauls and our finds from thrift stores, storage units, and garage sales, then please consider subscribing, and we'll see you soon.